Okay, so greetings everyone. Uh, Before we get into anything at all, I just want to do a short little prayer, and then afterwards we can get right into the induction ceremony. So you can bow your heads. Most righteous and heavenly Father God, here we are as we're gathered before your presence to not only celebrate but to congratulate and recognize the growth and developments of these individuals, dear Lord, and sharing their journey. I pray, O Lord, that you will be in the midst of it all, be our guide, our sword, and our shield. Have everything to go through smoothly and according to your will and ways, mighty Father God. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
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 So, hello and welcome to Final Render Animation Studios' first induction ceremony. As we get into this, I firstly want to introduce who our guests will be, for tonight's ceremony. First up, we have Adrian White. He's a partner at Night Vision Media Limited, an educator, technology trainer, digital media, and animation brand practitioner. At Night Vision Media Limited specializes in creativity. They've evolved from a graphic design firm to a company that provides creative solution for all its clients in the following areas: animation, corporate identity, promotional advertising, web design and development, weddings, and custom items. Our second guest, who unfortunately will not be able to be here with us tonight due to an unforeseen circumstance, is Devin Brown. He is the founder of Vinlow Media, which is an ad agency that helps real estate agents to sell more homes by generating quality leads for them. And our third guest, who will be joining us a little later in the ceremony, is Glenn Henry. He's the founder and projects director at Sprite Ranch Studio, which is a one-man macro studio based in Kingston, Jamaica. We focus on smaller, self-contained titles with an emphasis on narrative elements. Now, continuing on, we're going to be introducing our inductees for the night. First up, we have Alexandra Malcolm, an up-and-coming voice actor like I Sir White, with a specialization in commercial and narration reads. Her voice allows for her to be the most suitable prospect when it comes to vibrant and energetic reads and commercials, kiddies, productions, and stuff like that. Her voice is the best fit, not only as a credit from my own words, but from others who have heard her voice in action. Next up, we have Courtney Edwards, who will be joining us a little later. He's also an upcoming voice actor with specialization in commercial reads. Now, with Courtney, he has a very powerful control with how he does his commercials and his reads, where it not only captivates the audience, but it has a sense of dominance and control that tends to swerve across and sometimes even invite curiosity, which is definitely his element, and he hones in on it. Our third inductee for the night is Shaisty Hibbert, and she is our resident graphic designer with specialization in posters, flyers, and presentation designs. Now, she's also very critical with the way that she approaches each and every one of her designs, not only for presenting it in a way that clients would want it, but also with making sure that there's a level of clarity that comes through with the design, and one that really tends to sell all the information that you're hoping for your viewers to end up receiving. And me, I am going to be wearing a few titles for tonight. I am Cleon, amateur voiceover coach with specialization in commercial and narration reads. I'm the CEO of Final Render Animation Studio, and I'm going to be your host for the induction ceremony. And as you can see, I specialize in industry training, 3D animation, and game development. So, a little about me is I'm a self-taught game developer, started back in 2017, my last year in high school, and I've been practicing from that point on by myself, going through some YouTube videos and stuff like that. In March of 2020, I did a specialization, a professional specialization exam from Unity, which is the game engine that I use. And now I am Jamaica's first Unity certified user programmer that they have on record. I studied digital animation at Jamaica University College. And while I was there, I did a cinematography course outside of college that helped me in how I was able to portray and utilize my skills that I started to develop with animation. I'm also a self-taught screenwriter. Started off with getting my hands on some director interviews talking about how they go about the scripts and stuff like that, till I eventually got a script that was done. I think it was Jason Bourne, the Bourne Identity series. That's the first script I got. And I kind of just watched the film, got through the script, and eventually found different communities that did screenwriting and participated in those communities to hone in on my skill. I ended up forming Final Render Animation Studio in 2018 after starting my digital animation exam. And it is from that point on I decided that I was going to build up this company and bring it to the point where it's at now. And I also did and learned voice acting from Mike Caputo. His real name is Michael. What's his name? Michael Christopher. He is the one that I learned voice acting from through a Udemy course. And based on the contents and all that he provided, I was able to not only learn voice acting, but also hone in on the skills necessary to coach other persons to be able to do this craft as well. And recently he updated some more on the course, and I did it and received a certification for it. And this was not enough for me to per se start training persons in doing voice acting. So I did another course by Mary Ingracia, which, showed me how to write a voiceover script that I could then utilize that from both the front end and the back end, training persons on how to actually do voice acting and how the different types from animation to commercial and even explainer videos and how to hone in and utilize their voice to captivate audiences in these different categories. So, without any further ado, we're going to go into the showcases. Now that you've understand and have an experience as to who I am and what I do, we're going to start off with a video showcase, which is going to cover the journey of these inductees one by one. And there's also something interesting to worth noting is that I tried to look for some of the videos, some of the audios for the voice actors when they just started, and I was not able to actually find any. So luckily, I have when they did their first auditions. So we're going to be seeing that, and they're also going to see for the first time their voice on their most recent project that they did. So starting off with our showcases, we have Alex. So as I am going to start this, I hope that you enjoy it. And after we finish this one, then we'll move on. You can let me know if you're hearing it, because I'm not sure if you're hearing the volume.
I'm hearing.
Okay. A voice over demo is an short audio clip that best showcases your voice acting capabilities, often to attract the prospective clients who are seeking the exact same vocal qualities that you have. It's a business card, headshot, and resume all wrapped up in one. So always put your best pieces out there, ones that showcases your vocal capabilities, your confidence, and to persuade them that your voice is exactly what they're looking for their projects and are missing.
Hi, my name is Alexandra Malcolm.
Nettie, child, you got a voice. You gotta set that voice on a lampstand. Speak a little line into this dark part of Virginia. I love hearing that voice in choir.
Mama, I don't like singing them songs. I don't like the way they make me feel. I told you, I like singing the blues.
You're breaking your mama's heart talking like that. You gotta use that voice the Lord gave you for good.
But I've got nothing good to sing about.
This segment is sponsored by us, Finer Render Animation Studio. If you are looking for high quality 3D models to use in your animated and game development projects for free, go check out our Sketchfab page, which has plenty of 3D characters, game rigged and ready to download and drag into your projects. Buildings which are ideal for filmmakers doing VFX work, animators in high-end productions, and game developers looking for realistic models. All buildings are completed with 2K and 4K resolution texture maps, and in some cases, 8K resolution texture maps, completed with all the different types such as ambient occlusion, normal, and roughness maps to tweak to your projects for optimal realism. We are constantly adding new models for you to utilize to our Sketchfab page per month. That's sketchfab.com/CleoWillow, or check the link in the description for less generic looking models for your productions today.
Alexandra Malcolm, commercial demo.
For 5 persons, pay $2,000 instead of $2,500 each, or $1,500 for groups of 10. Where are you going to find another price like that? Did I mention that first time booking is also free? Book now, make a game tomorrow.
This segment is sponsored by us, Finer Render Animation Studio. If you are looking for high quality 3D models to use in your animated and game development projects for free, go check out our Sketchfab page, which has plenty of 3D characters, game rigged and ready to download and drag into your projects. Buildings which are ideal for filmmakers doing VFX work, animators in high-end productions, and game developers looking for realistic models.
Hello everyone, my name is Alex and I'm a voice actor for F.R.A.S. Today I'll be sharing a bit about my journey with voice acting, and I'll be referring to my notes every now and then. So it all started in late 2019 when I became introduced to the world of voice acting, and I remember I was a member of F.R.A.S. and I was learning this as a skill on the side while I attended university. I remember my first impressions being, whoa, this is fun, this is exciting. And I especially loved the other trainees, doing it with them, sharing this experience with them. It was exciting, it was fun, and it awakened the competitive side of me, because we're all fresh to this, we're all new to this, we're learning it at the same time, and we're excelling, and it was just exciting, you know, like a classroom setting. You're like, oh, I want to be number one, but there wasn't any negative energy at the same time, so it was good, healthy competition. I love that. So the competitiveness of it all was a motivation for me. However, there was a point, I can't remember the exact date, but there was a point where my motivation dropped, and I realized I wasn't seeing any growth in myself as a voice actor in training, you know? And it caused me to stop taking it seriously, my training seriously. I doubted myself a lot, and I was slowly losing my passion and my drive because I didn't think I was any good, you know? And it wasn't even me comparing myself to others at this point. It was just me feeling at this point I should be somewhere else. I should have leveled up to some extent, but I'm still stuck here. So that was a pretty dark time for me. However, currently now I found myself setting aside more time for voice acting, for training, making it a priority in my life. I must say I do still doubt myself every now and then, and my confidence is still a work in progress. However, I have seen growth in myself, and I'm excited to see how far I can go.
So there we have it. That is Alex's journey there. So, Sir White, this is the point where you would chime in. You share what you have to share to Alex.
I think it's fair that I share after you have all of the people presenting.
Well, the reason why I do it this way, I feel like you'd be able to better, speak one-on-one that way than go through all of them and probably like miss a piece or two.
To be honest, when I look on it from what I'm seeing so far, the growth is just remarkable. And it really is a pleasure to sit here to see your students progress in their field. The development, the continued love and passion, it's just a joy to see.
Okay. So before we actually move on, I actually have a little error that I need to correct, and then we'll be on our way. Has Courtney been able to get in as yet?
No, not to my knowledge. I'm not seeing.
Okay. So moving on to the next presentation is... Oh, before we even move on to the next presentation, this is Alex's contact information in case you have any sort of projects or need to refer her to somebody that you could work on a project for. So if you want to take it down, you can take it down. Or if you want me to email it to you, I can do that as well.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. Cleon, nice everyone.
Greetings, Glenn.
First, just sneaking in. But yeah, I was wondering if you could just put together a package for all the inductees, the contact information, and the entire profile. Just to send it at the end. Yeah, we can give it to them.
Sure thing.
Excellent.
So moving on to our next presentation, to showcase the journey for, is Courtney. A voice-over demo is an short audio clip that best showcases your voice acting capabilities, often to attract the prospective clients who are seeking the exact same vocal qualities that you have. It's a business card, headshot, and resume all wrapped up in one. So always put your best pieces out there ones that showcases your vocal capabilities, your confidence, and to persuade them that your voice is exactly what they're looking for their projects and are missing.
This recording was recorded by Qurtni Rojan.
I bet you he only lasts one day. You're not ready for high school yet, you dweeb. You thought no one liked you in middle school? Just wait till all the little ninth graders meet you, and they'll all think you're a little freak too.
Want to live the experience of a true Jamaican? Taste the culture, feel the dance, smell the vibes, grab a buckle of kuru. Premium Jamaican, real Jamaican. Courtney Rojan commercial demo. Want to live the experience of a true Jamaican? Taste the culture, feel the dance, smell the vibes, grab a buckle of kuru. Premium Jamaican, real Jamaican.
Are you ready for the most epic and the most retarded series? Get ready for an adventure of pure madness. The Catman Animated Series, coming to you January 2020.
Hi, my name is Courtney Rojan, and I'm a trainee voice actor, screenwriter, and game writer at Final Render Animation Studios. I'm here to tell you about my first impressions on F.R.A.S while doing voice acting, because that's where I actually started from. While I was at the American University College, I discovered Cleon Williams. Now, Cleon Williams, I never actually thought I actually found someone to relate to, someone who loves film like myself. And just so mesmerizing. He was the one that brought my true superpower to life, and that's acting. I began doing acting in front of the mirror. I began doing training, and I enjoyed doing all of these things while in training with him and my fellow team members, Shaisty and Alex. My time at F.R.A.S has literally changed my life. Currently, I have been selected on the JAPTA, the Jamaica Television and Film Association, for the top 10 shortlisted actors in Jamaica, and I'm also currently doing acting training. All that would not be possible without paying dividends. And I have to give him a huge thanks, and that's my experience.
So that is the piece for Courtney, and this time I want to start off with Glenn. You know, what do you have to share for Courtney? You know, based on his own progression and growth.
All right, good night, everyone. Courtney, I just want to say that I've seen the growth and the performance that you've, showed in the demo, the initial demo, as well as the final first commercial project. I see a lot of growth. Unfortunately, I can't speak to the intricacies in VA specifically. It's not my area of expertise, but I just want to commend you for, seeing a passion and following it. Basically being a pioneer in a nascent industry here in Jamaica. I commend you for that. That takes a lot of work, and I want to encourage you to keep going and keep pursuing that. through your studies with F.R.A.S or through your own personal projects. And yeah, that's my 2 cents. Good job.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That really means a lot to me. Thank you very much.
So next up, I'm going to say, Sir White, you take a swing at it.
Once seeing all these inductees and having to go through all of them one by one, I think before I make my next statement, Cleon, I think I need to start putting in for recruitment bonuses.
Sure.
All right. So I have been blessed to know Courtney as well as the others before, and I will say, seeing the growth that Courtney has displayed from being a student who didn't understand where he wanted to be, fought initially with the whole field of animation, acting, and just seeing him being encouraged to continue going through with the course, meeting up with Cleon, and continue to progress. It really just a joy to see the growth that has come out of someone, especially knowing that initially they had no idea about what the potential could be, but to be able to be engulfed within this experience and to see the possibilities and see the growth that is now coming. It is really wonderful to see. Keep up the good work, Courtney.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sir White. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
So we also have a hidden guest that, he has been there with me when, I was at Michael. He's helped me with, getting over some hurdles that really and truly were like a roadblock for me. So I want to give a big welcome to Giovanni for being here with us. And Giovanni, I'm not sure exactly where you dropped in, but do you have anything that you want to share, in terms of the growth that you've seen with Courtney? Because you were there when I just started training them as well.
All right, hello. Everybody can hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we're hearing.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I remember being there at the start. I remember seeing Courtney for the first time. I was actually there when the voice classes actually had started, and reminiscing on what Courtney did back then versus what I'm hearing now, I can really see a shift in confidence. And I mean, that just goes to show how much he has grown over the past months. And he seems a lot more confident now.
True.
And that's just one indication to keep going, keep seeing how much more you can grow. And the sky is the limit. Just keep pushing, keep moving forward. You've come this far. There's no turning back.
Well said. Well said. So, as pointed out by Glenn, I will, definitely make the cards be accessible for his information so you can have it. Now, next up, we'll have an oral testimony from Shaisty. At the time, she was working with me on getting some of this up, so she wasn't able to actually make one of the testimonial video. So she'll be sharing it right here. Are you ready, Shai?
Oh, you put me on the spot. Like, you make me a little bit nervous now. So thank you, Claire, for the introduction. So good evening, guests. Good evening, my fellow inductees. As Claire said, so my name is Shaisty Hibbert. Currently, I'm a university student at the University of the West Indies, studying psychology, which is weird, considering the fact that I'm also a part of an animation studio, which I think is a great introduction to my life and to my journey with F.R.A.S, which is one big train wreck. Let me start with how I met Cleo. So I met Cleo through Sir White, and Our first introduction wasn't the best, but our second introduction was, to me, truly phenomenal. And up to this day, it's still one of the memories that we'll go back and we'll talk about. So when I met Cleo the second time, like, we then found out that we had a lot of things in common and we had a lot of passion, more specifically for the arts. Now, I'm a poet and I love anything having to do with being creative. So even though I can't sing and I can't dance, I still attempt to do it because that's just what I love and that's just what my passion is. So I had done a piece about what it was like to be depressed after going through a major depressive episode. And it had resonated so well within Cleo that he used that to invite me to his company. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't have anything doing at the time like that. And so I decided to use this as an opportunity to get to learn something new because I'm all for learning new things. And so I had no idea what I was coming on board for because he didn't really explain all of that to me. He's just like, come and then, we'll break it down. I'll assign you certain tasks to do. And so I got assigned to the voice acting group. And unfortunately, my journey was not as lively as my fellow inductees. Like, my journey crashed and burned. And I rapidly realized that, okay, then, so Cleo, this was not going to work out. This was not what it was for me. And in that, what we found as well was my passion for administrative work. So Cleo told you that I helped a lot with the presentation, whereas me and Cleo were like fire and ice. So whereas he would have a good understanding of stuff, so or he did not really take into consideration. So then I kind of became the what's the word for it, Cleo? What's the word for it? What's behind you? What's the word? Like, I'd say a right-hand man beside Cleo. Okay. So when it came to planning, when it came to doing anything, because I had a background in the voice acting training, because I did go to some of the trainings, even our fellow inductees, I could say, hey, maybe this, how their sound is a bit off, and point out certain things. And so then I became the secretary. So when Cleo sent emails, he sent them to me first so that I could proofread it. Whenever he had documents that he needed to send out, I was the person that he sent, and both of us spent long, tireless nights going over those documents, ensuring that those documents were perfect. Whenever it is that he himself created a piece, I was the one that he would come to sometimes, and we'd bounce idea and we'll pass it back and forth together. Now, why is this essential in my journey is because we had a conversation about the team and how we could grow as a team. And that was something he was very passionate about. And he's like, hey, what can we do to further build up our inductees, to further make them more versatile? And we were talking, and before he could come up with the idea, Courtney, ironically, had came up with the concept of Fun Block. And he outlined it into, I think it was 3 or 4 different areas that we would focus on, and everything would be centered around team building. And we were ecstatic. We were like, oh my God, this is phenomenal. Let's do this. This is great. And this is how I ended up becoming the graphic designer for the Final Render Animation Studio, because I was like, oh, so if we're doing flyers, anything having to do with the design aspect, leave that up to me. Come to me with your ideas and I will push out posters and I'll push out flyers. But it wasn't until the second time when it was my time, that Cleo really saw that aspect of myself, because we had mainly worked together on the more administrative stuff and giving feedback and stuff, but I had never really created anything for the company. And so that was my first time. And from then it's only been up. So it started out as me using other tools, other samples in order to come up with ideas, to I'm now at a place where those are not fully able to give me what I want. So I'm able to be more creative with it. So I'm able to be like, okay, Cleo, I have to do this from scratch. I have to do this from scratch. And a perfect example of that is our PowerPoint presentation that we have today.
Wow.
It really was so hard working with me and Cleo because Fire and Ice, it not only extends to our relationship as well, but because we're such opposites, it's like the ideas that we have sometimes don't always mesh together. So creating the perfect piece because we're both perfectionists can be a little bit hard, but we made it. And I am forever grateful. So now what I'm looking forward to within the future is just extending my craft. Cleo knows that one of the things I'm passionate about is writing. And so I'm looking forward to going into screenwriting as well as learning how to use some of the more professional tools regarding graphic designing. And yeah, that's the end of it for me. I talked a little bit about the past, the present, and my future. So thank you all for listening, and I'm now going to hand over back to Cleo.
Really well said. Yeah, I think you really captured it. So this time, I'm going to leave it as an open round. Which one of our honorary guests would like to speak first? Going once.
All right. So I'm just gonna jump in. I know I joined a little bit late. Just gonna give a quick intro who I am and then just say my piece before I hand over to another guest. So just for those who don't know, my name is Glenn Henry. I am the face and fingers behind Sprite Ranch Studios, which is an independent game development studio based out of Kingston. I also happen to be the loudest member of the JDDS, which is Jamaica Game Development Society, a grassroots group, kind of dedicated to teaching and collaborating and expanding our knowledge on the business and craft of interactive media. So when Cleon asked me to be a part of this, I was a little bit skeptical, but I am definitely appreciating what he's trying to do, and I'm appreciating what it is you guys have done so far and the growth that you've shown and the interest and your passion. So like I said to Courtney, I only can commend you guys. Like I can't do that enough at this point in time. I know it's hard. I can appreciate the bouts of depression, and I can appreciate those times where you feel like Jano, why am I doing this? Is this really where I want to go? Is this what I want to do? But all I can do is tell you what I tell myself, which is stick with it, work on it, network as much as possible. And this is where I segue to a little bit of advice. Network as much as possible. If you don't have a social media presence, I would say go ahead and make one. Be very intentional with it. So don't just post memes. Try and keep it professional as much as possible. Understand what your brand is as a creative, as a business person, and try and keep your messages in line with that. Try and join other networking communities around your profession. I name dropped the JGDS, so I would ask everyone to just pop in if you're not already a member. But there are other networks such as Game Industry Gathering, and there is one for VA specifically, but I have to track that one down. But yeah, I'd say do your research, join the communities, be a part of the discussion, understand what's happening in the industry. Because even though it's nascent here in Jamaica, the internet has kind of reduced the barriers overall.
True.
Be a part of the discussion. That is how we learn and grow and make connections and everything. Yeah.
Well said.
Thank you. Perfectly said.
It's all right.
All right, so as deliberately holding out to be last on this one. All right, Fire and Ice, Shaisty. All right, so, behind a successful man is a strong woman whooping him into shape. You're playing that role really strong, Shaisty. To be honest, ladies and gentlemen, it really is an honor to be a guest on tonight. Seeing all the inductees continuing and do so well, it really is a pleasure to even know that I was a footnote in their journey along this way. And of all the inductees, the one I have known the longest is Shaisty. Shaisty gave me no means of trouble in my digital animation class.
Wow.
But there was always a passion about Shaisty when it came to her work. And even when she was going through hard times, just had to take the time to just to encourage her and keep her at it. And to see her come back full circle within the digital animation sphere, it really is just heartwarming to see, and to not just see that she's back in there, but the quality of work that she's been producing that I've always known that she is capable of produce. And I'm just looking forward to see her future talents and development as she continues to grow. Really and truly, guys, as again, it's been an honor just being here, being a part of this team. Cleon, seeing him grow from a student into a business entrepreneur, going through the model, helping others to grow and develop. And really, that's all that we can do to start to create the network that we all need. And I look forward to working with you guys on upcoming projects as we continue to push this industry through Jamaica, the Caribbean, and further to the world.
Same. Yeah.
It's really ironic that you said that you've known me the longest, because just tonight I was talking to Alex and I was talking to Cleo, and I was like, can you imagine everything that I know right now was taught to me by Sir White? So I'm like, it's so special for me, to have both you and Cleo here, my previous mentor and my current mentor. It's an amazing experience. Thank you.
You kind of sweep my foot. You kind of sweep my foot, but I really appreciate it, sir, right? A lot. So, last guest, Giovanni, anything to share?
Oh, hello?
Greetings.
All right. Yeah, so a brief story about me for those who don't know me. Cleon and I we started in the same year at the Jamaica University in the digital animation program. Sir White was also one of my mentors at the time in digital animation. And Cleon was there are certain people you meet in this life where you tend to want to hold on to them, and Cleon was one of those persons. He had a passion and a drive about him that it really inspired me. So that wanted to make me collaborate with him. So I saw he would come to me about final render animation series, and he'd tell me about his goals and his plans. And, I'd listen to him and tell him, this can make sense, or you can take this direction, and XXX. And with time, we endless nights, we still making plans.
True.
But ultimately, I decided that wasn't the path that was my calling. But that didn't deter me from wanting to help Cleon and grow, because this is something where I saw that he was passionate about it. I knew that I could assist. So I was there when he started the voice acting training and all of that. I haven't been in depth communication with him about the growth, but remembering what I saw then, Shaisty was there, Alex was there, Courtney was there, and what I'm seeing tonight from them, it's really a testament of growth. And I want to encourage you guys to keep pushing, just because God gave you guys the vision. He didn't give anybody else the vision. So it's your job to keep on pushing and keep on learning. And I want to piggyback on what Glenn said. This is something that's new in Jamaica. It's the animation industry, and you guys are the catalyst for this. So always remember that you guys are going to affect what happens tomorrow for the industry in Jamaica. All right. So that's my final word. Encourage you to keep pushing, keep growing.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
And thank you.
Giovanni really has been, like a right-hand man for me starting up. So, thanks a lot for that, Giovanni. Sir White?
So this is the after party section. I just want to pick up Glenn and Giovanni. No, it's good to see you guys out.
Yeah.
Man, but really proud of all you guys, the work you've done. Really, just keep it up.
Yeah, definitely. So there's one other thing that I do have left for us, and that is a networking activity. Now, as Glenn has mentioned, it's great, to be involved in different networking communities and do networking events and stuff like that, as it really does help you to form connections, and the more persons you know, it helps you in your journey, as you can also help them. And so, what I have here planned for us is a little game where I am going to set up, for both of for two teams. Is going to be set up for one team will be the guests, and one team will be inductees. Now, I do want to, make some introductions to what this is. So here we have today's categories. We have Challenge Me, Career, Know Me More, as the three different categories that we can pick from. So, who wants to go first, or should I choose? 3 seconds.
I'm gonna go first because I need to actually. I have a clash right now, so I might have to leave shortly. So let me just jump in and begin things.
So, which one of these categories will you choose from, and which number? The greater the number, the more difficult the question.
Big money, man. Big money.
Yeah, man. Give me career for 300, Mr. Williams.
All right. Career for 300. What do you wish you could change about your job?
Oh, okay. Which one? Where am I heading? I would say I wish half the funding is a little bit clearer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is what I would. For games, it's a little bit murky, especially since there's no formal infrastructure. A lot of pitching. Things are a little bit easier now because you don't necessarily have to fly to conventions during COVID. You can attend the events virtually, but you need to have a proper understanding of your project, and you have to think about it primarily from a business perspective. That's not something I did initially. It's something that I developed over time, and just over the past year, pitching my current project, I've learned a lot just in terms of what makes the most impact to investors, and how to operate within my genre and my even target platform. It varies from platform to platform. Like mobile investors are different leagues entirely from a PC investor. So things like that. I wish that information was a bit more easily accessible early on. And I wish that there was a little bit more prototype funding available.
Okay. All right. So that has been 300 points awarded to the guests. So, from the inductees to my right, I have Shaisty Hibbert, who will be going first.
Sorry, Cleon, I know I just answered that question, but I do have to actually run. I apologize. I'm very, 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 very sorry. I carved out half an hour, and that is all I can. It was wonderful meeting you all. I'll be looking out for that profile on there, Cleon. If you want to reach out to me, I am normally on Twitter at SpriteWrench. You can also check out my site at SpriteWrench.com. I'm willing to answer any questions anybody may have specifically about game development, biz development, and illustration. Thanks again for the invite.
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. So, Shaisty, what will your choice be?
No, I mean, couldn't we have picked the inductees similarly?
I mean,
You
maybe.
you keep on picking on me.
Fire and ice.
Fire and ice.
Courtney, Alex, I'm just gonna depend on you guys to come with the point. I'm gonna go a little bit lighter tonight, and I'm going to say, let's do Know Me More 200.
All right, Know Me More 200 says, what work are you most proud
Ooh.
It should be interesting.
This is not fair.
I want that question.
All right, you can answer it as well.
This is not fair because I have quite a lot of things. Okay. Regarding the final in the animation studio, I'm most proud of my back to school PowerPoint that I did because that's when I started customizing PowerPoint, and I think that is more representative of a more creative side regarding everything was created from scratch. And regarding my personal life, my brand, Her Pen and Paper, the digital art that I do for that brand is what I'm most proud of because every drawing is handmade.
Yeah.
Every piece is written by me, so that's my baby.
Wow.
So I'd have to say that, yeah. Mr. White, because he's excited.
Yeah, he's excited. So you want to take a look at the questions, right? Your mic muted.
You're still muted.
Sorry, I'll take the same line, but I'll go for 300.
All right. So 300. So, Know Me More 300 says, what has been your biggest challenge in your field?
All right, so that actually is a double question for me because I have two fields. From the teacher point, my biggest challenge really is trying to reach my students. It's really hard to be there and have a student and think that you can't assist them or help them just to develop.
Yeah.
It's not so much just of passing, but I think that any student that I have should feel empowered at the end of the journey.
Same.
So that is probably the biggest challenge, especially when during the pandemic now and you're not able to see them. A lot of times you don't know the challenges that they have unless you see them in person. Or sometimes you just see them in passing or just a look in their eye. I can even attest with Shaisty. Or just one day and you're able to help them. But you can't do it so much so online.
Yeah, I definitely share that too.
From the business perspective now, I think from us as creative, the biggest challenge really is funding for projects. It really does hinder what we want to do, and it forces many of us to even just do jobs just for the money, but no passion, hoping to make it to develop for the passion projects.
True. Definitely. So that 300 points has been awarded to the guests. There we have it. Going on, we are now left with 100 from Know Me More and all the other rest from the rest of the categories. So next in my right, we have Courtney. Which category will you choose from?
No, I'm excited for this one. Okay.
Come with the big bucks, Courtney. Come with the big bucks.
You know me. All right. So I'm going for 300. Challenge me.
Oh, wow. Dang, okay. So 300 says, do you work with any teams? If so, what are the challenges of that dynamic versus by yourself?
This is a really interesting question. Okay, so personally, I love working with teams. I feel when you work with teams, as the saying goes, two heads are better than one. You know, when you work with teams, everybody in the team actually gels together to make one goal.
Mm-hmm.
And the challenge is,
Do you find it a lot more challenging to work in a team than work by yourself?
no, actually, no. I love working with teams. I think, well, working with you guys, I've seen that, there's no I team,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times when I'm feeling down or I'm going through something personal that really takes my self-worth, low self-esteem kicks in, depression kicks in. It, there's just one word I remember that just makes everything go away, and that's FRAS. Even today at work, and I'm not really catching on to stuff as much as other people.
Mm-hmm.
I remind myself that this is why you have FRAS for it.
Yeah.
That's why you have people. That's why you have a team to help you develop. We help each other develop, to see our true selves, and that's something that I really have to be thankful for.
Okay. Yeah. I love that. I love that. And that 300 points goes to the inductees.
Hold on, I want to add to that as well. It depends on the type of team that you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a university student, when you get those group projects and you delegate the task and people just don't do what they're supposed to, it's not the best. It really does depend on the type of team that you're within. And we are just fortunate that we're within a good team. So some of the challenges that other team might face, we don't necessarily go through that. But man.
Amen.
All right. So next up on the board, we have Alex.
Didn't Courtney just go?
Yes, but it's your time. What are you talking
Your
about?
time. Oh, wait.
No, yeah, jump out our guest line. It's Gio's
Right.
time.
Hey, should I just make a cheat?
So, who shall it? Wait, which one shall it be? And Giovanni, do you want to take a walk at any?
No, I'm not hearing.
No, it's Giovanni's own.
Okay. Giovanni, what category?
I'll take challenge me 200.
Oh no.
What are some
Clear, your audio is off.
Hello?
Your audio is off, yeah.
Oh, because I thought I was the only one that noticed.
So sound better. You sound a little bit better. Talk again.
Okay, can you hear me now clearly?
Yeah.
Okay. So Giovanni, if any one of these persons were to, work in the field that you are currently, what kind of challenges could they expect if you were to try and in your line of work?
Okay, well, what are some of the challenges I can look forward to experiencing as a newcomer? Well, do you want what you want me to speak from my personal experience in my in what I'm doing now, what I'm pursuing now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I work in the food industry. I know I work at a restaurant, and depending on which department you're in, it can be a fast-paced environment. So you have to what one skill that I have developed is decisiveness, because I have grown into the role where I'm supervisor and a trainer. And in that fast-paced environment where you have to make decisions where persons are coming to you, you have to be able to make decisions at the snap of a finger and telling you do this and then move on to the next thing. So what comes with being in that position is that you learn. It's a learning experience because you're coming into a new environment and you're getting to learn more. For me, learning about something is always fun. I'm always down to learn whether it be anything, which is how I actually got into animation. I'm always willing to try new stuff because to me that's how you grow as a person. So you learn about foods, you learn how to manage your time because, like I said, it's a fast-paced environment.
So, Sir White, you want to take a walk at this question?
All right, which one?
This one on the screen. You know, what are some of the challenges I could look experiencing as a newcomer in your industry?
All right. So, what are some of the challenges I can look forward as a to experiencing as a newcomer? Well, I don't know if I call it a challenge, but I can say I definitely look forward to the journey. Anything that you start new. The first part is going to be teething pain, but it really is just the journey and the growth that you get along the way while you're understanding any new thing that will pushing you toward becoming a better version of you.
Nice.
But I went to a little bit of trouble. Giovanni, how come you not tell me which restaurant supposed to come celebrate and come share your
We met. So that goes to the guests. Am I right? Yes.
You're correct, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So the guests are leading the board. Shaisty, will you be the tide turner?
You have Alex. Actually, you just looked at me now. Alex's turn.
You're the first in the bundle.
Alex has not gone as yet. It's Alex's turn.
She was the one that went last.
No, Courtney went last. Courtney went last.
Okay, Alex. So, what will it be?
Okay, so I'm thinking challenge me 100.
Okay, Challenge Me 100 says, why do you think you were invited today? So, this is a question that all the guests would have to answer as well.
Okay, so I am an inductee and induction ceremony. So I was invited to showcase progress and my introduction to the world of voice acting animation.
Okay. And Sir White?
Oh, that's simple. I was brought on to be a proud papa. Come on. That's why I saw all the names of the inductees, like, Cleon, let me go to class. It's really just like, I just want to enjoy it all. All my kids have grown up.
Yeah. And Giovanni, what say you?
Yes, I was invited to bear witness to a legacy making.
Yeah. Well said.
All right.
So this one goes to the inductees, am I right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. The guesses are whooping all of you right now.
So why did they get answer
long
to go to the inductee?
Where said Giovanni?
Why did the two guests answer every point going to go to the inductee?
Oh, because it was a question asked. It was a question chosen by the inductees. So they're the ones who get the points. Although it is one that invites the guests to share their opinions and thoughts on the matter. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
AKA, you were hoping a guest would get it, but you got it instead.
So then, the next question is for a guest. And I believe the last one that went was Sir White. Okay.
Give me a sec, sir. My F.R.A.S family, I'm sorry I'm going to have to jump off this call. I have a little bit of a work to go do. I'm going to still stay on and listen, but I'm going to be a little bit out of it for a bit.
Okay.
I have going to have another meeting, but I still want to see all of you guys do your thing. So I'm still here, but I might not be actively here.
Okay, sure thing.
No problem.
So then, Giovanni, I guess that leaves you. And then there was one.
So I must choose now.
Yeah, you must choose.
God. Okay. I'll do the Know Me More 100.
Playing it safe, I see. What has been your biggest project to date?
Very good question.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest project to date. I mean, there's so much to choose from.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't say they were all successes. A bunch of them are failures, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I started, okay. My biggest project was I started an online company. And that was developed over the course of, in fact, it took probably a year to really start, because I started studying about a year before. But it was ultimately a failure. I had to close it down because it was non-profitable. Yeah, I started selling some products online. That has been our biggest project so far, which I have learned from it and plan to open another one in the coming future.
Okay.
All right, guys. I want to jump on this one, but I went back Clear to bring it up for me. Clear, you can go to YouTube for me a sec.
Sure.
And I want you to type Delta Animation.
All right. Delta Animation.
All right, the third one. That's the biggest one today.
Oh.
Look out be the big D. Listen what me tell you. Look out be the big D. We service what we sell you. Look out be the big D.
You know, I've always heard this on the radio.
Yeah.
Supplies, power tools, hand tools, welding, fabrication, agriculture, landscaping, irrigation, safety and material handling. Anything for construction, we can handle it. Big D service, anything you purchase.
Wow.
Big D satisfy you with a purpose.
You can actually feel the Caribbean vibe to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know what you call those, but it's like this is
Delta Supply. We service what we sell.
It's really ironic how the word works, because I always see this ad pop up on YouTube and I would have never known.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yes, that is us. I have not put it on my page yet because I was giving them time to still push. But I'm going to put it in my show real soon.
Nice.
That is amazing.
So who else would want to take a crack at this question? What is your biggest project to date?
Oh, I should add the scene on the TV with the machine on the TV.
Yeah.
I actually did the illustration on that one. I have that on my Instagram. And the last scene with the driving.
Yeah, I saw them. Okay, so I guess.
Check them out later. I didn't see that.
Yeah. So I guess no one wants to take a crack at this. All right. So my biggest project. Wow. I guess I could say my biggest project is actually this voice acting, training that I've done. This would be my biggest project, as you can see. Testament to it as well. Congratulations, guys. So we have 2 questions left, and now it is Shaisty's turn. That's a good question.
I'll do career 200.
All right, career
Let's
200.
figure it out.
How did you join this industry, and which one is it?
I mean, technically, I went on my whole journey previously. So I don't know. Should I talk about like me being a child? I don't.
No. Sir White, if it's possible, could you voice on how you got into the animation industry?
To be honest, I just wanted a change. I used to teach bio and maths, and I wanted to explore more into my creative side. I've always been things like graphic design, web design, and when the opportunity to teach digital media came around, I just jumped on it. In fact, I actually left Arden full time and only came back to teach digital media as one of the pioneer teachers down here. And then we got animation and game design, and it was all over.
End game, just like that. Okay.
I wanted to ask Courtney a little bit about acting though, and
yeah,
how did he get into the industry? Because I think his story is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Take it away, Courtney.
Hi guys. Okay, so I don't know if the answer is the question really. Okay, I usually went to the Great High School, and when I was starting the 9th grade, I didn't know what my vocational subject would be. So I was bouncing back, maybe in mechanical technology. I was actually doing it, but I didn't really love it,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't step closer to my talented side, which is acting, until I actually met you guys. But I have been doing a lot of acting since beforehand. I've been in the mirror, when I see like my favorite actor on screen, I'll be just remembering their lines. And I'll be just in the mirror by myself, doing my thing, making some really good expressions, but I've never really went at it at full force.
Okay.
Until recently, when the Jamaica Television and Film Association gave me a chance, when I saw the chance, I just took it.
Just like that.
This is the time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the time you have to go out there and show the world what you can actually do.
Definitely.
You can act, you can dance. I can even write stories.
Yeah.
So, and I enjoy doing those things in my downtime when I don't really have anything talking to. I just create something, and it just gives me so much joy.
Mm-hmm.
So I already know that acting is my destiny, and I already know that my journey is just gonna wow a lot of people,
Definitely. So
you guys are in my journey.
Yeah, I want to see it at its best. I want to be right there, witnessing to that. So in the starting, I had mentioned how I got into it. I think slightly. It's actually a big thanks to Sir White that I was actually able to step into the animation industry, and that actually propelled me to get more involved in, ironically, the game development industry as well. As we continue to learn and hone in on our skills. Sir White would arrange for us to attend animation events and workshops, and this was what really got me to push more of my networking skills and be able to meet other persons within the animation industry. And it's just a weird and bizarre thing, because before you get into the industry, it's like you don't know it's there. It's like a shadow agency, like like the student council in anime. Like they're there, but you just don't know they're there.
Yeah.
It's almost like that. And it's like once you get into it, you see everything and you see everybody. And that experience and exposure that Sir White gave me allowed for me to even eventually meet um some other animators within different studios. And then when we went to Kingston, that was it was mind blowing for me. It was a very exciting time because I got to meet a large variety of animators that I didn't even know were here. And so, from that point on, I tried to remain in contact with some of these animators, and we check on each other from time to time. And how I got into the game development industry was through Global Game Jam, which, come to think of it, Sir White had something to do with that. He had something to do with that. And he was even there when I went. I think he was the one who pointed it out to me that it was going to be keeping, and so I got into it. Went there. We set up at UA at Karamak for 3 days. We camped out at Karamak doing game development, building a game in 3 days, and that's how I actually met Glenn. And it was from that point I kept in contact with Glenn, and he eventually said to me, "Hey, there's the Game Developers Society. Why don't you come join us? There's a lot of different game developers from Jamaica here." I was like, that could be really fun. And that's when I decided to, say, all right, I'm going to take the plunge to, join this society. And it really has been great. I really feel like I fit into this really good group, the Jamaica Game Developers Society. And that's not something I normally say because while I'm a part of a lot of groups and stuff, it's rare that I feel like I really genuinely fit in. And this is one of the spaces where that happened. And so I've really been grateful that Glenn invited me to it. And there's no turning back from there. I've actively tried to participate within the community and even help from time to time. All right, so Sir White says he has to go. It really has been a mighty pleasure to have you here, Sir White. So do take care. So this points goes to the cheese as we wrap up closer for the night. And then there was one, Giovanni. And then there was one. The last one goes to you, my friend.
All right. Sorry, that's what you have.
All right. What's the best part about your job? As you can see, this one is for everyone.
Wow.
Best closing question ever.
The best part about my job,
Mm-hmm.
the being, I when I went there, I was a reserve person.
Mm-hmm.
But I always constantly want to grow. So I mastered everything on my level, and from there I was looking for a leadership position. So majority, about 90% of the persons that I'm leading are older than me. So it's really a blessing where I'm able to lead these persons. I'm able to manage them. That for me is the best part about my job.
Nice.
That can be an effective leader.
Okay. So, next up, Alex. Shaisty thought I was gonna pick her.
Everybody did.
No, I was ready to fight.
Go ahead. Okay. So, Rob and Courtney right now is voice acting. So, I would say the best part of voice acting is the script. Finding out what
script, the art district, what they expect of it, and like actually if you can say the message that you want it to portray. I find that fun, challenging, interesting. So that's my favorite.
Okay. And Courtney, what about you?
Oh my, I have so many. I have so many best parts. Okay, the best part of my job really is to tell a moving story. I'll have like a lot of conversation with Shaisty about anime and how so many of the anime scenes are amazing. They have so many fight scenes, and I would tell her my fascination about cinema and how amazing it is to tell stories with visual expression and realism. The ability to go back in time to tell stories, in the medieval times and about people's lives. It's just always something really amazing to me, and it's so it gives me a sense of peace.
Yeah.
Knowing that people live so many years ago, and I'm being able to tell those stories. I'm being able to portray a life that could have been on film, and that's the best part, being able to tell stories.
Okay. And then there was one.
I mean, what I'm gonna say is creative direction. Creative freedom, sorry. I love the fact that I'm able to be as creative as possible and I can constantly challenge my limits and come up with crazier and better designs. I think that's the absolute best part.
Wow. Well said. For me, okay, go.
I just want to add the fact you make a really good director.
Yeah, I know, right? She has the potential. So, my favorite part about my job is actually people's reactions to my work. Being able to see how it captivates them on the points that I wanted to captivate them, make them expressive at the points where I want them to be expressive. It really, it fills me with joy. It makes me very, very excited. I mean, even speaking about it right now, as you can tell, even observing how tonight went, seeing persons' expectations be blown out the roof. Those are the kind of stuff that really, really gets me excited, makes me really enjoy everything. And that's really what got me into it in the first place. Being able to see how my story can impact someone and draw their emotions into, being satisfied at the end of the day with what they just saw, what they just experienced. That is the true market for me. So in the end,
very true.
In the end, there's a tie. Wow.
Wow.
Wow, what a turn of events. This is the perfect way to end it. Who could have seen it coming? I certainly didn't.
Not me.
Got to say.
So once again, I want to just thank you all for, coming. And from the inductees, I would like to hear, your closing thoughts. What was it that really, you enjoyed about tonight or probably didn't? And, what do you think we could improve on for a next time if we have more induction ceremonies? Starting with Courtney.
Okay, that's not. I wasn't expecting that one. Okay, so what I really enjoyed about tonight was the recognition. Seeing that each of us has put in so much hard work into making our content or making ourselves, our talent to be known, and seeing how much it has been recognized. Even your work, Cleo, I really know that you are very, very passionate about directing. You know, Shaisty, you're very talented in making so much. Words can't begin to express what. Alex, your story is breathtaking. And it's just all of that. I'm just really happy to know that all got recognition. And yeah, those are my thoughts.
Okay. Next up, Alex, what's your what's your thoughts on tonight?
Okay, I really enjoyed tonight. I think it was a successful induction ceremony. My favorite part was watching for everyone else. Like I know how the journey was for me, but it's like speaking from other person's point of view. I really enjoyed that. Like the reassurance that individuals in the industry that was a confidence booster, you know, we're doing something, we're doing good, just keep at it. I love that. So I appreciated their presence in the ceremony. Any anything to correct about the ceremony? I think the ceremony went good. However, I wish for the critical moment we got to hear from all the guests because I think there was a lot of information and knowledge that they could have really passed on questions set up. So I'm disappointed we didn't get to hear that. It was great.
Wow. Okay. And Shaisty?
If it's not first, it's last. I would say, the only mishap that I have about this ceremony is timing. You know how anal I am about getting things done and especially like just shooting. So that's the only issue I have. Other than that, I think tonight was really successful. Everything flowed really nicely. And what I really appreciated was the support.
Yeah.
That everybody came together to not only offer words of advice, but I think extend their hands as well to support. So you're not the only person, for example, that we can learn from, but we were introduced to other individuals who we can reach out to ourselves and learn from them. And I just thought that was such a precious gem and the absolute best thing that we gained from tonight.
Amazing. So yeah, you're not the last actually. Giovanni. Giovanni.
Surprise.
How much what do you have to say, about tonight?
I think it was a really, I don't want to use the word nice. This was
heartwarming.
Heartwarming. Yeah, I'll leave it that. It was really heartwarming to know that this is something that you guys put together for encouragement of the team, and giving them that recognition that they, I'm sure they will deserve. This is another boost for them. This is like a milestone for them.
Yeah.
It's really good to see how your company is growing and progressing forward.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that. If it's not with me personally, their vision is great for them and for you and for the company.
Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate those words. So with that, we have reached the end of tonight's induction ceremony. Once again, I am your host, an amateur voice acting coach with specialization in commercial and narration read, and the CEO of Final Render Animation Studio. It was great to have you here, and if you're watching from the recording, thank you for your time.